There we go.
Cool. You can just move that water bottle as well if you like.
Well, it's not seen in the shop, so
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm not bothered to.
A secret bottle.
Secret bottle. So, wow, this is kind of cool. This is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so welcome to YDN Radio Brighton. We're here on our Banged On About, that's what we call it, Banged On About, because literally all I do when I meet the artists on the playlist is just have a big old natter and just find out all about you. I mean, you can talk music and that's good, but we want to know about the great stuff, who you are. So, this is Starcoast.
Hello.
Welcome. Yeah, that's right. And we need to introduce you. So we have.
I am Jim.
Jim.
And I play the bass and sing.
And I'm Tom. I play the guitar and sing, and sometimes saxophone.
And I'm David, and I play drums.
So, when did you start? It's a bit like Cilla Black. So, what's your name? Where'd you come from? So, right? You know that, yeah? No.
Yeah.
You look a bit lost. So basically, Cilla Black, who's no longer with us, a very famous British presenter. She used to be a singer. She started as a singer, presenter, and she used to do the first dates, blind dates program. And then she used to interview, and she'd say, "Oh, what's your name? Where do you come from?" So that's that explained. You guys knew of it, so that's kind of cool. And we'll get to that in a minute. But Starcoast, let's talk about you guys. When did you start?
Yeah. So the three of us, I guess it was about like
3 years ago, some change.
around three and some change. Yeah.
3 and some change.
Yeah,
But
and-
we're here in 2019. We are talking more.
Yeah. Well, we actually. So what's crazy about us is, I mean, we're brothers, so we had always kind of been playing, but like we were in separate bands, and it just never quite worked out with the people wise. And then when we all came together, we realized like, oh, like we want to like tour and do stuff. And we're like, oh, why don't we just do it then? It's like nothing's holding us back. So like literally within like, it was like 6 months of us forming, we like had already booked the tour here to the UK and did like from Brighton up to Manchester and then everything in between. So yeah, so it was crazy.
It's been a busy 3 years.
It really has.
Yeah.
Despite COVID, we managed to stay very busy.
We will get to that because it's kind of hard to avoid the pandemic discussion in an interview. We will get to that. So you're brothers, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
How far apart? Or not apart?
3 years.
Yeah.
3 years apart. Okay, who's the eldest?
A lot of people think we're twins, but I'm not.
They do. We get that.
Well, maybe because you're in the same band.
Yeah, it's true. We end up like we're all three brothers. Well, we're about to be brother-in-laws.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause-
Tom just got engaged last weekend to my sister.
Yeah.
Oh,
so-
congratulations!
Thanks. She's coming tomorrow. So.
She is. That was my next question. Where is she?
Yep.
She's
Yeah,
coming tomorrow.
They'll be us
flying in.
Yep.
Okay.
So.
That's pretty cool. All inside the family. Family business is forming.
Yes.
That's right.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
so
right.
he's marrying your sister.
Yep.
Yes.
Do you have a sister that he can marry?
That's what I asked.
You did ask
I
that.
had
See,
to ask.
oh, sorry.
No.
So what?
It's only
no?
two of us.
I'm bringing one in from outside.
Yes.
So it's just the two of you, no sisters.
Yeah, just two of us. So yeah. But
Have you got another sister?
I do actually, yeah.
She has taken it.
yeah.
Okay. So you formed 3 and a bit years ago.
Yeah.
You've been playing together for a while. You came on board. Did you have to audition?
No, it was
No,
weird.
it was-
I don't think it was strange because at the time you guys had kind of had another drummer go another way, and I had kind of gotten out of a band informally, another project, and it was kind of like we met, and then it was like, well, you play drums, you want to do a gig or something, and we did, and then before we knew it, we had already kind of booked the first England tour, and we were like, oh, I guess we're like the thing now. It was almost like we had to wake up to that.
I was like, oh, this is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool though. It was just so like natural. I don't know with us.
Yeah.
And it's weird because like we were all in the same circles and should have met but never did.
Yeah.
It was a lot of serendipity kind of.
Yeah.
We found out some things that
Yeah.
we didn't know till later on.
Like his mom was my music teacher in school, and
Our
like
moms both work
yeah,
together.
work at the same school and like just like.
And then our grandparents were neighbors,
next door neighbors,
and traveling friends,
Yeah.
so they knew each other, and we didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of weird stuff like that. We're like, oh, okay, this is
makes
the
sense.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do this. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go, that's a full history. You don't get that on the website when you read the bio, that's for sure. That's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
what I like getting to. So when you came together, did you guys already know that you were going to call the band Starcoast? Or, so now we have to talk about the name. Where
Yeah.
that came from. I mean, there's a very interesting comment on your bio about where it came from, but is that true?
It is. No, it really
oh,
is.
okay,
Yeah.
so tell everyone about that.
This was a long time ago, like even before like it really became Starcoast, and we just kind of held on to the name for a while. I played more like kind of punky kind of music, and like was feeling restricted with that, and like wrote a song, and I was like, this feels different, and like I don't know, I took a beach walk that night, and laid out on the beach. Like we live kind of a place like Brighton. It's like a touristy kind of.
So where are you from?
Virginia Beach.
Virginia
yeah,
Beach.
Virginia. Yeah.
Okay.
We live in Richmond now, which is like an art college town. But like, yeah. So walked across, the beach, past all the buildings, laid out. I'd never seen a shooting star, and there was like a whole meteor shower that night. I was like, this is how like I want to feel. Like this feels like the song. And then like I don't know, like it was Starcoast. And then when we came together, we started writing music that felt like that. And so it was like, oh, like this should be Starcoast. So
Yeah. It's a good name. Yeah, it's got a
Thank
star in it.
yeah.
Space.
Oh yeah. We like to keep it spacey.
So before we came down, sat down and recorded, you mentioned to me about how in the States there's not much of a gig culture or a going out culture. Can you explain that to us? Because in Brighton, there is a huge, as you know, gig culture, and in Brighton we go out to see bands all the time, and people perform all the time. There's so many venues. I mean, we're here in New Brunswick, but there's so many to choose from.
Yeah.
I think
How
there's
is that?
I think there's pockets, like
Oh, for sure.
in America is very big, and I would certainly not want to try to make a blanket statement, but I think culturally we've just kind of found that like, oh, it's like let's go down the pub and just go see music, and that's kind of the vibe. And so it doesn't matter how big the band is or what flavor the music is. People just go to a gig to experience a gig and go to music. Whereas I think kind of the corporate aspect of America and the way that business is just such a prevalent thing.
Yeah, it really
it's
is.
almost like you've got to be a certain level of a band to kind of have that stage.
Right.
Yeah. Whatever that means.
I guess in the
That's
UK
true.
it would be to get to the O2.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, kind of honestly, yeah, because there are people that go to see like shows, like bigger shows, and like not to say that like there aren't awesome like promoters and bands doing things, because there are.
Because there are.
But it's like it's a lot harder to get the masses to come out to a show. Like there's not like, I don't know. I think the way the structure is too with like the venues is like, I don't know. Here when we came here the first time, like there were people who were like, oh no, we just like this venue and we want to go out and see live music. And we're like.
And that's
the
what we're
concept,
into.
you know what I mean?
It's
Like,
like
yeah, we love
community-based
that.
gigs,
Right, but
Yeah.
like back at home, it's kind of harder. Like you kind of have to really push like people and then you've got like a lot of the same people coming to shows, and like
Yeah.
it's still great. You have a good time, but it's like it's a little harder. I mean, there are some cities though in America that are like really great. Like we did a tour of the West Coast of America, and our show in Seattle was like amazing. I mean,
I'm
that
glad you
was
said Seattle, because
yeah.
I was going to ask. Surely, Seattle has a reputation. That's
Oh,
what I'm
yeah.
trying to say.
Oh,
so
yeah. They lived up to it for sure,
They did.
and
Oh,
more.
that's good to know.
So yeah,
Fantastic.
definitely.
Well, we're glad you're here, and you're performing tonight at the Brunswick, and you've got a few more bands playing with you as
Yes.
well. Are they local?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
they're
are, aren't
both
they?
from Brighton. It's a Stranger Girl and then Smoke Filtering, and they're both really great bands, great people. We've got to like FaceTime them before coming over. So
Right, so it's bands
Yeah.
that you have met and played with before.
yes, well, not played with yet. So this will be our first time playing with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as a band, when you write your music, when you get together, who's in charge of the lyrics? Who writes the music? How does it work?
It's one of those weird things where it's almost like the songs kind of write themselves, it feels like. It's almost like we'll be in the room and try. Well, this happened literally the other day. We were trying to practice our set, and then like one of us starts playing something and then we all just start kind of joining in, and then
Yeah,
like
it turns
it
into a
just
song.
turns into a
It's
song.
very unspoken.
It is.
It's just,
it really is.
Yeah, it was last week, and Tom started playing a thing, and then Jim started playing a thing, and I kind of just joined in, and we kind of felt like, oh, shift to a chorus part here, and we will do that, and then
Yeah.
okay, and we'll go back to the verse, but these aren't things that we say.
Right. It's just
It
kind of
just
happening,
happens.
and we're like,
Yeah.
And then afterwards, we're like, well, that's a song.
yeah, yeah. It's so fun. I think that's like the most fun thing for us, like that like unspoken chemistry of just like, oh, we're going here now. Like, we all go there. It's like, I don't know. So that, I guess that's kind of how it.
It's
how it
exciting.
happens. It is. It is.
Oh, it's good. It's good because having fun has to be the number one. When it stops having fun, I think
Yeah.
history shows us that's when things start to go a little bit wrong. So,
Yeah.
you know,
That's the
keep
truth.
keep that fun alive.
Yes.
Really. So is that right that I saw the look there? Is that right that the music comes first and then the lyrics?
Yeah, definitely. Because we'll get like almost like a melody, you know what I mean, of like the vocal melody, and like I don't know, and then like fitting the lyrics to like the rhythms that are in the song. So having like the rhythm section established is kind of cool. Like even sometimes like the lyrics will be a certain way, and then like whatever the song turns out to be, like they'll kind of shift. You know what I mean? It almost like because it shifts the vibe. You know, that's why like we really are like it's really. I feel it's like, really special playing with you guys because like the three of us together, it's like this thing, and it's like we create this certain vibe, and when one piece is missing, it's like it's almost like a certain part of the picture is just like gone. You know what I mean? Or like it's like a map. It's like you can't see the whole perspective. So I don't know. Sometimes when we all join in on something, like the lyrics will change. So
Right.
it's very much based on the music and the vibes first, I think.
So when it comes to the lyrics, is it kind of based on your mood that day or what you're experiencing together individually?
It's definitely, I think, what we're experiencing like at the time, because like I mean
It's funny when we listen back on the songs
Yeah.
and we go, oh, like that's exactly where we were.
right
You know, because I think you can spend a lot of time trying to write lyrics about a specific thing,
right
in the pursuit of writing great lyrics. But I find that I think a lot of our songs are more so just like telling the story of where we're at.
right
So
yeah
it's
that's yeah
so it's kind of odd because I don't know.
yeah
I think the perspective afterwards is always
it is, that's what gets us.
it becomes more clear when we kind of distance ourselves from the time.
Because when you're in it, it's almost like you can't even fully.
You're right, understand and
They're
see
just
it,
sounds,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah, so you literally write about what you know at the time, which is
Right.
probably why it works. Because
Yeah, I mean,
they always say the royal they, write about what you know.
Yeah.
Don't try
Yeah.
and write about what you don't know. And if the music comes first, then I guess that will give you the vibe.
yeah,
That's
no,
pretty cool.
it's true. But and then it's funny too, because like when a song will come out too, we'll like almost feel like then we're living that vibe sometimes. I don't know, we found with certain things like well, at least I just always think of our song Scroll we put out last summer. Like it was like in the middle of COVID time. It's about like stepping outside of your like world of like your little phone and like your little, because we were all kind of stuck and trapped for a while.
Sure.
And like felt like we were kind of living that when we were like
There
about
are
to put out a
many
song.
lockdown songs now.
Yeah, no, that's the
Okay,
truth. That's
Many
the truth.
lockdown songs, and they're all valid, and it is all true. And there's lots of lockdown stories and stuff like that. So, because that's the life everyone went through, so it's all good. You're an independent band, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've got a group of people around you.
The most
They're all
wonderful
behind the
people.
camera.
Yes.
They're
yes.
all there being very quiet, which is very cool. The sound works. How do you work as independent? How does it work for you? Because a lot of people would say, you want to get signed by a big label, and that's what changes the world and everything and your career. And I think
Yeah.
there's probably something to that depending on the label, but how is it independent, and what do you want for the future?
It's like
Yeah.
fishing for glowfish in the dark, you know.
Yeah.
It's like you're digging in the night because it's like you don't know about the things that you don't know, and you spend a lot of time thinking about how to improve the things you do know. And it's honestly, it's just a lot of sitting around the coffee table with tea and coffee and sending emails.
Emails. Oh my god.
It's just
so
like
many. Yeah.
emails.
just infinite emails.
But it gives us a chance to listen to
Yeah.
tunes.
Oh,
you
it
know?
does. Well, that's the cool thing. Like,
So is there a delegation of emails? You get the first 10, then you get the second 10, then you get.
It's
well,
chaotic.
It's chaotic, yeah. Because there's like different types of emails. Like, so like the first part and like I don't know, the most fun is like finding the bands. Like that is a super just
That's
amazing.
a good time.
Yeah, because like being independent, like we can choose the bands we play with. So like we'll just look up and find all these amazing new bands, and then like we'll create like a playlist too to like keep listening to them.
Yeah.
So it's like a really awesome way to find like cool like underground music in each city.
We almost feel like
so-
we've visited every area in the tour, like sonically,
Yeah,
before
yeah.
even going on tour.
Yeah.
Right. So they're like those kind of emails, but then there's like emails to like the venues, and then to like I don't know, like PR for trying to like reach out like, hey, cover our tour, like like what else is there? I mean, like to promoters, like to help set up the shows if we do that. So just it's a lot of that kind of
It's
just-
chaos.
It really is.
It's a lot of work,
Yeah.
coming here, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a lot of work to put it together, so well done you for doing it. And do you always want to do it?
Yes,
Yeah, I think
constantly. If we're not doing it, we're thinking about doing it.
But
Yeah.
independently?
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah,
Okay.
it's come to the point where it's like one of those things like where you start doing it and it's really hard and you don't know a lot. I mean, same thing with recordings. We record and mix and master all of our music too. So like, it's like you start this thing and you're like, this is really hard. I wish we had help. It would probably be better if we had help. But then you do it, and then you go, okay, well we did that, and then you're still kind of looking like maybe we'll get help, but maybe we'll try this again. And you do it again, and you do it a little bit better, and you're like, okay, now we're feeling pretty comfortable. Let's do this again. And then it's like at this point we've had enough time, especially over COVID. When that happened too, we got a house together. Like we rent a house together and like live in a band house.
So you've got like a
So-
studio inside the house.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So like we've kind of learned all these things together to where now we're like, you know what? Like it kind of just wouldn't even really make sense to like work, with I mean, and maybe it would if we don't rule out any possibilities,
Absolutely.
of course. But we love just working together. I think, and I don't know.
Why would we want to work for someone else?
Right. If
You know.
we could work for ourselves,
And work with
like-
each other. And
Right,
like,
and we're all
yeah.
best friends. So it's like, I don't know.
Oh, that's good. So that kind of scraps my next line of questioning, really, because you don't live together, but surely sometimes someone sleeps in. So I'm going to ask it anyway. So you live together,
Yeah,
which makes
yeah.
it easier for rehearsals and writing and what have you.
Yeah.
And I do like to kind of mix the pot a little bit and stir the juices.
Stir it
Let's
up.
do it.
Okay,
Do
you
it.
ready? All right. So when you arrange a time that you're going to start rehearsing, writing, whatever you do that day, who's on time and who's always late?
I'm too early.
Yeah.
I'm always there like, all right, I'm here. And then it's like, wait, okay, we still have like an hour. Okay, and then
Yeah.
I'll kind of go off for a bit. And then Tom will be like, all right, I'm here. And it's like 15 to. And it's like, oh, well, I have 15 minutes, I'll go do something. And then I'll come back and be like, oh, no one's here. And then I'll go. And then Jim will come in and be like, are we doing this? And then we'll be like, oh, yeah, we got to do this.
Yeah. It really depends on like, so, like
Nice.
we've had to like work other jobs and stuff.
Of
So like,
course.
scheduling and stuff. Like Jim will get off a little later and then he'll be in there. But then David and I have been like, we've been waiting. And it's like, it's like,
But I guess living together makes the waiting a bit more.
It's a lot easier.
Yeah.
It's easier to find the person. You know what I mean? It's like, you're like, hey.
Yeah, one of the three
Also
Right,
door.
right.
It's harder to
Yeah.
Door,
hide.
bedroom,
Yeah.
toilet, kitchen.
Oh yeah, there's
Where a living room, where else could they be?
yeah,
So yeah,
no
that's
secrets.
good. So while you're doing all that work, what do you eat and drink while you're getting all these creative juices flowing?
We're both vegan.
Yeah. So
Anything in that realm, pretty much.
yeah.
I was for 2 years, but I love eggs and sausage way too much.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's so hard. But I did it for 2 years, which is pretty good.
Yeah, no, it was cool. Yeah.
And I contributed something to the world.
For 2 years. So, do you try and convince them to get back on?
No,
You're not
Yeah, we're not.
converted.
Yeah,
You
it's
haven't written a vegan song then.
no.
I feel like everyone's different.
Yeah, and, like-
Everyone has their own things that their body needs.
Exactly. And the other thing too is like from like a sustainability perspective, if you will, like it's like I think a lot of hardcore vegans do vegans like a bad give them a bad rap because they're like everyone needs to like stop immediately and everyone's like evil who like it's like but people are so like they don't like those like hard fast like restrictions and those things like I feel like we would help the world more if we were like hey let's just like cut back a little you know what I mean
Or try
like,
vegan night once a month.
right
you know,
they're just
whatever.
like or like
Do you do vegan night once a month?
More often than
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, 'cause
yeah,
you
so
live
you're
with
still
Hanging out
doing-
with this
yeah.
lot, and it's
For
like,
you, it's probably more like, oh god, I need a sausage. It's sausage time.
yeah,
Yeah,
I take it
yeah.
and I leave it, you know,
Yeah,
vegan
yeah.
meal here and there, and I just don't think too much about it.
yeah yeah
So what do you drink as you pour down the vegan?
usually
Just
we'll make
water.
water and tea we do make a lot of tea
We make a lot of
We do
tea,
make
and
quite a bit of tea.
specifically before we practice, we have
Yes.
tea.
Yes.
English tea or herbal?
What is it?
There's a tea called throat coat.
Yeah, it's
The
like
whole
it's
like
like an herbal tea.
voices.
Yeah, but it's like a lemon echinacea, like some other stuff. It's honey
Good
in there.
pronunciation on the echinacea, man.
I practiced.
This is where it's from, isn't it? Indonesia.
Oh, is it
Echinacea.
echinacea?
Oh, maybe it is. Yeah.
Sorry, I just
Oh.
took away your compliment.
It's okay. It was a
Uh,
good moment.
Okay, so after the practice,
Yes.
it's still tea and water?
Yeah, because
Okay.
then we'll
I think
usually.
she's getting on to booze.
Oh, that's.
Wondering.
We do. I mean, I'm like a cider fanatic. I
Okay.
like
Cider,
I
I like cider.
love cider,
Okay.
but I like a Guinness.
You're in the right
I don't
country
know.
for cider.
Yeah, I've noticed that because like back at home, like there'll be like one or two types, if even, and they're usually in a bottle. So it's like it's never on tap, but it's so good on tap.
I had London Pride last night, and for some reason that was just hitting.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
What's a good beer around here? What should I get
That is-
tonight?
that's a good question.
Well, I get, yeah.
Sorry, not to
Question
put you
right
on the
back
spot.
at
That's it,
me.
yeah.
Well, I do like a bit of Guinness.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
would say I do like a bit of Guinness, and then we get all the healthy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't tried a Guinness here yet. I feel like it would be different than in America, but
Okay.
it probably maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's just like a perspective thing, like in a different
Yeah.
place, so it tastes better. I don't know.
Probably.
But yeah, Guinnesses and ciders.
Well, on that note, thank you very much. Thanks for coming back to Brighton. Coming back to Brighton is always a good thing for Brighton. It means you enjoyed it the first time. So,
Oh, loved
so
it.
you'll be back again and again. And
Mhm.
thanks for the interview. Thanks for getting in touch. Thanks for joining my Den Radio Brighton's playlist, which I have been playing, and very lovely responses as well to your music. So hopefully you'll see your vines on that as well online. And do you want to tell the listeners, is there anything else you want, like any kind of platform you prefer them to listen through?
Oh, right.
Any other things going on to
Well,
this
go to our
platform?
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. We post a lot on
We
there.
post a lot of shenanigans on there. and
Starcoast.music and
We have a website on the internet.
We do have a website. It's
Yeah.
starcoast.band.
Yeah.
You can find all our tickets at starcoast.band/tour. But yeah.
Yeah, follow our tour.
Yeah.
Follow the tour. You heard it. Follow the tour. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
It was great to meet you.
Yes.
Let's see. You know, I had this